All right, today we're going on this just incredible journey, and it's a journey inside us. We're diving deep to explore this hidden world, a world that starts with just one tiny cell and somehow builds a whole person. So let's get right into it. So it really all boils down to this one kind of mind-boggling question. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? How do you go from being a single cell to, well, you, with trillions of cells making up your body? The craziest part is, the answer is happening inside of you right now, like this very second. Okay, but before we get into the how of it all, we've got a problem. We need to actually see these things. And to do that, well, we're going to need the right tools to peek into this ridiculously tiny universe. And I'm not kidding when I say small. We're talking impossibly small. You can't see most cells with just your eyes. No way. That's why the microscope was such a game changer for biology. It literally gave us the key to a world we had no idea was even there. So, this is our secret weapon, the magnification triangle. It looks simple, but it's super powerful. It's all about the connection between three things: how big the image looks, how big the object actually is, and the magnification. The cool thing is, if you know any two, you can always figure out the third. It's the fundamental math behind looking at anything tiny. All right, let's put it to the test. Imagine you're looking at an onion cell under a microscope. The image you see is 5 millimeters, and you've magnified it 200 times. All you do is take your formula, image size divided by magnification. So 5 divided by 200 equals 0.025 millimeters. But scientists like to use an even smaller unit, micrometers, so we multiply by 1,000. And boom, the real onion cell is just 25 micrometers. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so now we can see them. We can even measure them. But what's actually inside? Where is the instruction manual for building a whole person? For that, we need to zoom in even further, right into the cell's command center, the nucleus. So get this. Inside the nucleus of pretty much every single one of your cells, you have these things called chromosomes. They're basically super-duper tightly coiled up bundles of DNA. A great way to think about it is like an instruction book for you. The chromosomes are the chapters, and each chapter is packed with thousands of genes. The genes are the actual sentences, the instructions that decide everything: your eye color, your height, all of it. And for us humans, we've got 23 pairs of these chapters in most of our cells. Right, so we've got the blueprint. But how does one cell with one copy of the blueprint become trillions? How does your body make new cells to grow or to heal a cut on your finger? The answer is this amazing, super organized process called cell division. And that process has a name: mitosis. Honestly, the best way to think about mitosis is like a biological photocopier. Seriously, its one and only job is to take one cell and make two perfect new copies. They're genetically identical. And this is absolutely essential for everything from getting taller to your body healing itself.
Now, a cell doesn't just split on a whim. It has to prepare. It goes through what we call the cell cycle. First up, it grows. It gets bigger, makes more power plants like mitochondria. Then comes the most important step. It copies all of its DNA, every last bit. This is so that each new cell gets a full instruction manual. After that's done, then it's ready for mitosis, where the nucleus divides, and finally the whole cell splits in two.
And this is probably the most famous picture of mitosis you'll ever see. Once the DNA is copied, the chromosomes look like these little X's, right? That's because it's the original and the copy stuck together. And what do? They all march to the middle of the cell and line up perfectly. They're getting ready for the main event. And then the action starts. These tiny little threads, these cell fibers, shoot out from opposite ends of the cell. They grab onto the chromosomes and pull. They literally rip the X's in half, pulling one copy to one side of the cell and the other copy to the other side. It's like this perfectly choreographed tug of war happening on a microscopic scale. So what's the bottom line here? It's this. You start with one parent cell that has the full set of 46 chromosomes. Mitosis happens, and you end up with 2 new daughter cells. And here's the key. Each one is a perfect, genetically identical clone of the original. That's why, when you get a cut, your body makes new skin cells, not brain cells. It's the body's ultimate copy-paste function. Okay, so most of the cells in your body are already specialists, right? They're skin cells or nerve cells or muscle cells. They have a job. But what if I told you there are cells that haven't decided what they want to be when they grow up yet. Well, that's where we get into the absolutely fascinating world of stem cells. Think of a stem cell as a blank slate. That's the perfect way to describe it. It's undifferentiated, which is just a sciencey way of saying it doesn't have a specific job yet. And its superpower is that it can do one of two things. It can make more blank slate stem cells, or it can be told to become almost any kind of specialized cell, a blood cell, a brain cell, a heart muscle cell, you name it. So where do we get these miracle cells? Well, the most powerful ones, and yeah, the most controversial, come from human embryos. But we also have them as adults, hiding out in places like our bone marrow. They're also found in umbilical cord blood after a baby is born. And hey, it's not just us. Plants have them too, in the parts that are always growing, which are called meristems. And as you can imagine, this incredible power leads to a massive debate. On one side of the coin, the potential benefits are just mind-blowing. We're talking about treating things like diabetes or paralysis, growing brand new organs for transplants, saving endangered species. But you flip the coin over and there are some serious risks. The cells could turn into tumors, they could carry viruses, or your body might just reject them. And of course, the biggest issue for many is the ethical one, using cells from human embryos. So that leaves us here with this huge question. Are stem cells the medical miracle we've been waiting for, something that could completely change medicine as we know it? Or are they an ethical minefield, something we need to be incredibly careful with? There's no easy answer. The science is moving at lightning speed, and this is a conversation that affects all of us. Thanks so much for diving in with me today.